Hello, everyone. Take 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't know how many we've seen, but we're here, and welcome to Biz Bestie TV. We are discussing the epidemic of freebies. Louisa's on, and we're just waiting for the beautiful Linda Bonney to arrive as well. And I'm just sending her the message, so please bear with me. As you can see, I'm a rookie on this, but it should be awesome. I'm going to connect Louisa now while we wait for Linda, and she can introduce herself. Hi, Louisa.
Hi. Lovely to be here. Second time around. Sorry that you could hear, everyone could hear us laughing. We had no idea that you could even see us.
It was quite hysterical because I could see you, I could hear you, and you couldn't hear me, and I couldn't stop you guys from doing your thing. And this was just comical. So welcome. Thank you for jumping on to the first episode. I'm so excited, and I'm so happy for you to be here.
Yeah, it's great fun. I love new technology. I like trying new things, so why not?
I know, it's so exciting. So it's great. So I'm going to put on the live comments so we can share with everybody what everyone's saying. So we can even do that at the bottom of our screen. It's awesome.
That's great.
I know.
Gosh, I didn't even know this was a thing, so I'm learning something new today.
It's a thing, and we can have myself and 3 guests on. So hopefully every Tuesday we're going to have this thing happening where we have an awesome topic and have some great guests on to share their thing. So I'm just waiting for – I keep sending it to you. Okay, here we go. Linda, this is for you now, lovely. So I'm sorry I delayed Linda on that, everybody. So today I raised a question, what do you think about freebies and the epidemic of them? I think freebies have a place in our business. When I started this group, though, it was really important to me that we don't grab out to everybody for freebies, because I think in most other groups we're always asking for advice, and it really does kind of seesaw on people's paid advice and free advice. So that's where the question came from for me. What do you think about it?
So I think there's an absolute epidemic.
Yeah.
And I think that people expect freebies before they expect to pay for things. And I think that particularly as women, we kind of feel obliged to give away our knowledge. And I think it's insane.
It is insane.
I think that we all work, well, I do, and I don't know about everyone else, but I imagine all of us work really hard to make a living for us and our loved ones, and then we just give stuff away.
We do.
And people ask for free stuff all the time, and it really does my head in. And then when you say no, they get really shitty with you.
Louisa, just on that, people expect free stuff. Do you think we've created that mentality, though? We all jump in and offer freebies and blogs and everything. How much do you think we kind of undervalued ourselves by offering so many freebies?
Yeah, I think we do, and I think it is a thing that we've done, but also it started in the creative industry. You know, for years and years and years, you know, if you were a graphic designer, can you design me a logo for free? It'll look great on your portfolio. I mean, just rubbish, right? Yeah. I can't eat portfolios. You know, I can't feed my family on free whatevers. My daughter's a dancer, and the amount of times she is asked to do free things, which
really
fabulous on her CV, is insane. Like, it just makes me so cross. And I think it started in that creative industry and now has moved towards the business industry. That's my opinion of that.
Hi, welcome, Linda. We went third time lucky, and we're all here. And Louisa and I have done the apologies for our first 2 very funny attempts.
Yeah.
We do apologize for that. I will get you to introduce yourself a little bit later, but just on what Louisa said, I think people take it for granted that us in the service industry don't value our information or our product as much as what people do with real product. Do you agree with that?
I definitely think there is an undervalue both of ourselves and of the expectations of ourselves. I have a two-sided take on the freebies in my journey, and thinking about back to my story as well. The freebies for me have really helped me to define my boundaries. They've helped me to clear up my message. They've helped me to connect. They've helped me to collaborate. They've helped me to expand my knowledge and get really confident and clear.
Is that the freebies you've given or the freebies you've used upon other people's freebies?
Both.
That's what I want to know. How much is it? And this, you may have missed it with Louisa. I did ask, how much do we take from freebies when we are actually encroaching on people's paid product and we're not valuing other people using their freebies as much as we should?
I'm a bit with Linda. I think that there is a place for freebies, and I think there is a place for us to value add into groups, and it builds our brand and it allows us, you know, there are people I've connected with because I've downloaded their free top 10 tips for whatever and gone, oh, I love this. I want to know more. And then I've bought the product. So I absolutely think that freebies have a place, but I think we need to be very careful how far we go and that we're not giving away our intellectual property or undervaluing something or allowing people to steal our intellectual property. You know, when you an example being that Kate Toon, who I think we probably all know, who's this fabulous person, was saying today that she does this amazing course, which I'm saving up to do, but then people take her templates, rebrand them, and use them as their own. And I'm like, what? Who does that?
Wasn't her what the F's today were just astounding that we were talking about this today as well. And that's, I totally agree with you. We have a place for freebies. I just think we've lost the clear boundary of what's expected from a freebie and what we can take more from our like how much we value ourselves up over it, and how much a lot of people do their 15-minute freebies to introduce them. How much does that take? Like, that's 15 minutes of somebody's time plus preparation and time afterwards. How many people take those up with no intentions of actually developing a relationship with their the service provider?
Yep.
And then as a service provider, how do we sort that out? How do we very quickly say, actually, you're wasting my time, bye-bye, and that and feel okay doing that? Yeah, and
respect yourself in that, and the person respecting you and saying, no, that's okay, that's a business choice, let's move on, and it not be personal. Or as Kate said today, not get a bad review and all of that yucky, stuff. To quote one of the ladies in the group, not to be a mean bean about it.
And how many, like, I'd love to know, from the people in the group or comments, and both the two of you here as well, how many have you had who've taken you up on a freebie and then not turned up as well? You've I know that in my experience, I've had a few of those, and this is what I'm talking about in the fact that it's really taught me some very great boundaries and clarity and confidence in being able to be sure of myself and really get offers out there that aren't just giving away complete value for nothing.
There's something about having skin in the game, from a community development perspective. So before I did Away Team, I was a community development worker for 15 years. And when we were working with young people, we always tried to build in accountability when we're getting them to do things. So having some skin in the game. So what are they getting by doing X, Y, and Z? And I think it's the same in business. When we ask somebody to pay even a small amount for something, they're more likely to turn up because they've paid for it.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
We are just about to run a promotion which is $50 for VA for a day. And the reason we're charging is exactly that, because I do not want to waste anybody's time. If you are not going to turn up because you didn't pay for it, then I haven't got time, energy, and neither do my team to bother with that. Whereas if you've paid $50, it's not a lot of money for starters, so it's still cheap to get somebody to work in the back end of your business for a day, but you've got skin in the game. You've paid for it. Therefore, you're going to turn up, right? That's what I think about that. And I think that we have to be very careful about offering things for free, because I think you're right, Linda. People just don't care. They didn't pay for it. It doesn't really matter. Linda won't really mind. Well, I think Linda probably does mind, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Linda's children mind as well, that, she's not about spending time with them. So one of the comments here, and I'm sorry, they don't come up with your name, so I do apologise, is where is the line between free and paid content? What's your opinions on that?
Louisa looks like she's about to say something. I'm happy to jump in.
I think we very clearly have to respect our own boundaries, and writing a blog or something like that does add value to the person, and it does actually explain your beliefs and how you can help somebody. I do think that giving the 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour can cross the line if you are not very sure on your boundaries. So I think if you cross the time that the person who's offering the service has offered 20 minutes and you're taking over more than that, I think you're crossing the line. And as Louisa said earlier, if you're using your IP that's used in paid processes, I think you're crossing the line.
Okay. Yeah. I think free content doesn't necessarily need to be a one-on-one 15-minute conversation. Free content couldn't be something like Facebook Lives, like blogs, like YouTube videos, instructional information, like responding to posts, like tagging each other in a collaborative way, which really helps that networking as well. Like for me, that's more valuable to be connected and collaborating with those people than perhaps investing more of my time into the one-on-one conversations at the moment. And that's learnt through experience. Other in a collaborative way, which really helps that networking as well. Like for me, that's more valuable to be connected and collaborating with those people than investing more of my time into the one-on-one conversations at the moment, and that's learnt through experience.
Linda, that's probably my bugbear, where you've said that when people ask for service or tag you in service, that yes, you are actually able to help, but is that not where we should be saying our boundaries? Yes, I can help you, and if I can't help you, here is my link for you to work with me.
Yeah. Do you think that's done well though?
No, I don't. That's why I think we all undervalue ourselves, and this is why I really wanted to have this conversation. How do we, as a collective, say, okay, we're not going to undervalue ourselves anymore. Let's support each other and create boundaries. I'm not sure. I'll just find Louisa for a sec. Let's create boundaries so we're not taking each other for granted.
I mean, yeah, look, and it also raises a bit of an interesting point as well. It's a bit like comparing apples and oranges in some ways. Someone who's just joined, let's say, just joined a big Facebook group yesterday and sees the freebie hashtag, is probably going to have a very different view on it to someone who's given away 100 freebies and spent hours and hours building up a degree, if a degree of credibility in that sense. So undervaluing and one part of the journey.
Do you think, though, we put an expectation out that there to new startups and etc. to do freebies because that's the only way they're going to get out there for free? Do you think the freebies can undervalue themselves and the other people who are doing similar work? We're not the same, and we certainly shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. But do you actually think that the expectation of freebies may be too big?
Yep, absolutely.
Startup.
You don't walk into a supermarket and expect to get free products every time you walk in. It's just.
Do you think it created that momentum a little bit?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And is it out of a bit of desperation or having a lack of confidence when you first enter the inside world of online Facebook business, especially? Probably. It's quite a hard expectation to be able to just throw yourself into paid offers as well and be that sure of yourself and confident in what you're doing, how you're doing it, and everything else like that. So tricky.
We've lost Louisa. She is trying to get back on, so she will be back to add her opinion. So we've kind of gone to that freebies is a different, is a negative thing. I don't actually believe that. I think they have their place. What would you actually? My piece of advice for a person with startup would be to keep in mind when they're creating freebies that they won't always be in this point. So if they remember to value what they're creating now, because that also starts a journey later on, what expectation of what people expect.
Yep.
So what would be your number one piece of advice for a new startup and what they can add?
Look, definitely in the really in the fact that they can share a lot of value that they're already sitting on, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and create new freebie offers or templates or anything else like that. So there's so much value in our wisdom and experience, and by have that level of relatedness as well. Like often you will share parts of your story and you'll discover that somebody else has a very similar story to yours as well. So that can really help to create quite a memorable connection, in my opinion.
That was my next question to you. I think what you do is a really important thing for startups. Do you think a part of a freebie can be sharing your story, not necessarily giving it, but sharing why, sharing that know, like, trust factor? Is that a good freebie to start off without actually giving away your IP that you, because as startups, we really are only creating all of this IP and we don't necessarily know what's valuable at the time compared that you should own now. Like as for the Biz Bestie thing, 12 months ago, 18 months ago, I may have not gone ahead and trademarked Biz Bestie because, and shared it with everybody and let him on. But knowing, 12 months on, that it's really important to be careful of the IP you share, and then when you are sharing it with your terms and conditions and all of that. So I think really good. So tell us about how sharing your story is a good freebie.
Look, oh goodness, look what we got. Look, sharing your story is something which can become, like, it can flow quite naturally. If you are confident enough to do something like we are doing tonight, like a conversational style in sharing a story, and have someone really ask some pertinent questions which get to know you on a level which isn't coming from a victim sort of feeling like you're approaching it in a victim way as well, that can be you. It can show your facial expressions, it can show your emotions, it can show the sound and the pitch, and you can add all sorts of very memorable aspects to that story, which people can then, you know, view or download or have at their leisure as well, and that, you know, you can then incorporate that into things like your Facebook page, so that they're not only seeing your story in a group, they're then seeing it on your page, and then eventually sort of tie that somehow into a newsletter or that sort of thing as well. So not only does it build that trust and credibility, it starts to tie into the emotions, and also give you the confidence to be able to talk about who you are, what you do, and how you deliver as well.
Louisa, are you there via voice? No, she's not. No. She's still trying to get in, everybody, so okay. Bear with Louisa. That's what somebody in the comments has asked. How do they do a blog? So if they're quite good with doing a live, how can they turn that live into a blog?
Goodness, there's lots of different ways. So you can do something like have it transcribed. She's there. She's back.
Don't
so something like have it transcribed from the Facebook Live into a blog. Is certainly the way that springs to mind immediately. And then, you know, extracting pieces of that, depending on how long the live is, you could then turn that into multiple sources of blog content as well. So, yeah, that would sort of be my first idea. Also, just simply downloading that and adding it to something like a YouTube channel as well, so that it's on more than one platform. YouTube engaging a lot, or spend a lot of time really conversing with, but it's also a link that you can easily put into an email or something like that as well.
Louisa, just speaking to Linda about before the blog comment, what is a valuable freebie for you? What do you think as a startup is it a valuable freebie for them to create, that they're not that startups and businesses aren't giving away their IP too early because they're not aware of how valuable that IP is? What would your advice be there?
I think if you're going to do a freebie for somebody or freebie blog post or a post into something, it needs to leave people wondering what's next. So, although it value adds, so it answers a question, but it also leaves people hungry for more. So what else does this person know? How else could I use the knowledge of this person in my business? So it invites you to go to their website and check out what else they do, or to sign up for their half-day workshop, or, you know, one of those things, I think. And then we have to be really clear in those half-day workshops or Facebook Lives or whatever that you've reached a boundary. When somebody says to, can you just tell me how to, and it's actually part of the information you'd give if you were working with somebody and they were paying you could say, sure, book in for a 15-minute session and it costs blah.
Yeah.
We just have to be upfront about it. We have to stop being frightened of saying no. And you can frame it really well. Again, Kate Toon did this fabulous blog post a few months ago about saying no and how you do that. And it was all about, I'd love to do that for you, is what you say. When somebody asks you to do something for free, I'd love to do that for you. I'm unable to do that at this point for free. This is how much it costs and you can sign up here. And then leave it to the person, to be honest.
That's and as I'm not sure whether Linda was on at the time when you brought up a really awesome point that as women we find it really difficult to say no.
Yeah.
When we're not socialised to say no, when we say no, we're called bossy or bitchy or one of those really negative words. And actually saying no shows that we are strong. It shows that we're clear around our boundaries. It shows that we value our own time and other people's time.
Yeah. And that's the point I really want to get across today in this session with you ladies, is that to value yourselves, but value other people as well. So if they're offering take it as a gift, but don't take it for granted that the next step is not overstepping your mark. It's great to offer freebies and it's great to give advice, but I really want people to feel free and comfortable enough to say, look, please book in with me at this point. That is part of my service that I offer. And as a collective, if we all do that, we're all going to feel a lot better about ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I would like to touch on the point and more because, Louise, you're more product-based out of possibly Linda and I. So today you mentioned that you were actually asked to give away free VA services.
Yeah, for a whole month. So somebody wanted to try our services and they wanted to try it for a month. So that doesn't just impact me, that impacts the VA. So, if you were to go to our website, you'll see that ethics is really important to us. Paying our VAs comfortable wages so that they can afford to just work for one person and come to work and enjoy life is really important to us. And that's all across all of our media. It's very obvious. And then this person said to me, I'm not really sure they're near a VA or not. Can I try your services for a month for free to see? No. 2 reasons. One, I still have to pay. I will be paying the VA because that's who I am. And secondly, that means I make zero money for that month. I have 3 kids.
Child's not eating, but you don't need to eat. You don't need to eat. Come on.
And she's like, if I love it at the end, I'll give you a great review. Yeah, no, I can't eat reviews. And then when I said, no, I'm sorry, you can do VA for a day for $50 and I'll set you up with Marge who does that and you can see how we work and, here's some testimonials for you of previous clients and, this person's happy to talk to you if you want to. She got really mad and said, I'll find someone else. I'm like, good luck.
And it saddens me in case somebody did give their services away for a month. It saddens me that if somebody wasn't as strong as you, Louisa, and had the same principles as you, that somebody may have given her that service for a month because they felt like they had to get that piece of business.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to that, right? We are, and I've learnt this, I've only been doing business full-time for 18 months, and in that first 18 months, boy, did I learn about desperation. How desperate are we to get clients that we will give those clients, prospective clients, anything they ask for? And if we are desperate, then we're going to get nightmare clients that continue to ask for free things. So say I said to her, sure, here's Annabelle. You can have Annabelle for a month. What would she be asking for next? Another month because she still wasn't sure? A discount because she deserves one? Like, once you start devaluing what you're worth, how far does it go on?
Yeah. It really comes down to the value we have in ourselves, I believe. And I really, really, really want to empower everyone today off of this live to value yourself. And you brought up a really good point. Louisa, that's a great freebie to say why you need me and why I need to be paid, because you have all these skills. This is why you need to be paid for it. See, I find that an awesome freebie to say, okay, you need to work with me because I can offer you all this stuff. And then that actually does creates that curiosity of why people want to work with you it's because of your ethics, it's because of the skills your VAs have, So to me, it may be
posts about what problem we solve in particular people's businesses. I think they're great freebies because they value add, they highlight a problem that people may not realise that they even had, and then they go, oh, that's why I think this, do that, behave like this, my business is doing that. Okay, and that gives them an opportunity to think about it. All of that stuff is fabulous free stuff and a really good idea.
So I think that's a great freebie for us all to, occasionally throw out there. This is what I do, and these are my services, and this is, what we can do together, because people don't actually acknowledge what problems they need to fix.
Yep.
No.
So it is actually a really awesome freebie to say, if you check this list, you need me. This is the great thing that I had the solution for A, B, and C for you. You know what? Come and work with me. I can really help you there. So the people with products, I'd like to hear from them if they're out there, whether they also expect freebies, expected to give away their products for good reviews and things like that. I think the Instagram or the influencers has really created that as well. Louisa, you said the arts did, but I think Instagram's created the fact that, if you want me as a follower, you can give me this stuff and you can have my 3,000 followers. Do you think that's added to it as well?
Yes, I do. I think influencers are ridiculously insane because they ask for so much of the product now. Yeah. If I'll become your ambassador if you give me $300 worth of free product. There was a comment on the post today about somebody who was asked for 150 free pieces of jewellery in order to sponsor an event. That just blew my mind.
That would have been was it jewellery? That would have been a new from Big Dealer. By the way, she's an ethical jeweller, and her jewellery is amazing as well, and it's all ethically sourced. So just to put you all know that.
One piece of jewellery for a raffle, maybe, but 150 pieces of jewellery, who pays for that?
Oh, my goodness, I missed that, sorry, but that's just insane. Like, who does that? Wow. I know that the other people that my friend who's a lawyer comes to mind because she's constantly asked for free advice from family and friends and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And she's actually she's actually came up with a really good system, and all her free calls, her 15-minute she's nearly got 100% conversion because she uses them. She's set such clear boundaries that it is for her sake to receive information so she can serve the clients better. So, even those calls do it well. It really comes within us to set our boundaries. What is your number one boundary, Linda?
For freebies now?
Oh, yeah, or anything.
Number one boundary, I'm just really trying to keep a lot closer eye, right, like this is where I'm right now as far as my time and how that is invested, because there's a lot of free unpaid hours which are essentially being poured into building a business right now, and I've been really careless with that 6 months ago, very careless, just being busy to be busy and feeling like I was a business owner when essentially the figures didn't really match all of my free hours. So I'm keeping a closer eye on that at the moment.
Would you say what would you say to yourself 12 months ago? 6 months ago?
Oh goodness, just effing do it. Look, rein it in. While I love being an idea creator and love how much is in there, eventually, and Nicole, you know this, it just had to be really reined in to see through the forest, essentially, to the possibilities on the other side. Yeah.
And I think the three of us are similar, that we all really like conversations and connection with people. So I'm very similar to Linda, that I will speak. Somebody can get on Zoom or online with me, and I will speak to them because I really do enjoy it. But my favourite word at the moment is no, and to value myself, because you know what? I'm really good at what I do. I do love being the Biz Bestie. Yep. Being the best is important, that I share not everything I've got because I do actually enjoy that. Louisa, what's your number one tip with freebies and to start up people? Well,
so I think we have to decide whether or not we're an expert in our field. So if we're an expert in our field, we have to then trust that we value add and trust that people will pay for us, and stop this, I don't want to because people might not want to pay for it, or people can't afford, or whatever. Because we wouldn't, I mean, can you imagine a plumber coming to your house to fix whatever it is that's wrong, your leaky toilet or whatever, and then saying, I'll just give you this one for free, love? Not going to happen, right? They're more likely to charge you too much. Why, as business owners in either service sector or things that are the product sector, do we do exactly that? Yeah. We come into people's businesses or lounge rooms or whatever, and then we say, we'll just give you that for free. Why do we do that? If we are experts, then we have to understand that expertise has value and stop it. We just need to stop it. Stop it. And I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to everybody else.
And I think we've all taken up freebies. I don't think any of us are sitting here going, no freebies here. I've taken up freebies. I actually do prefer to pay somebody because I actually find if I've paid someone, they have more skin in the game as well. I feel like, okay, this is actually my time. I need you to concentrate on what we're doing. So that is very much me, that I find the skin in the game for both is very important. I don't turn up to challenges because I've got no skin in the game. It's like, I can't be bothered. I've looked at my screen all day and I cannot be bothered turning up for that challenge, because it doesn't matter if I miss it.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't wait for it. Who cares? I'm tired. I'm going to drink wine.
My kids screaming in the back, I've got to cook tea, I've got something else more important to do. So I think it's valuing people and giving them money or service. It also makes sure that you're getting the best from them as well, because that's what we expect in society.
In all fairness too, depending on where you are at in your journey, I think it's really important to recognise that it is actually a bit of a journey and process to go through on some level anyway, either like really extending and over giving, especially when you are in the vulnerable position of being in business and needing to wear all the hats and needing to be pretty sure of yourself in that expert space. And it's one of the hugest journeys I think that you can take, compared to just being delivered a paycheck at the end of each week.
Sure.
So it's insane. Like, while it's really easy for us with our wisdom and experience to sort of sit here and really give that knowledge and advice, the practicality and the actual putting it into place is a lot harder than it is to just sit here and talk about it, in my opinion anyway, which is why you need to do something like have a conversation about your story rather than just trying to tell your story to a blank screen or a Facebook Live or a blog post or something like that.
And I think that's where collaboration is important, and hopefully that's what our group does, or this group does. It actually doesn't give away your information, but it gives that support to say, hang on a sec, let's have a look at this practice. How can we work to change it? Because it's I've really seen the epidemic of people asking for free advice, not so much the freebies, the free advice that you will see that somebody's tagged in and it's like, well, how do I do this? And somebody gives it away, but it is somebody's actual job to give that piece of advice. It's a service. And I want to smack them on the hand.
Yeah.
Go, stop it. Knock that off. Somebody should get paid for that because they've worked really hard.
Presence and build your brand. You want to be out there having a conversation with people about what it is that you do and what it is that they need to do and blah, blah, blah. It's such a fine line. And I agree with Linda. It's a journey, a personal journey that you have to go on, I think. I also think, I really do think that there is a level of advice giving that's okay because it shows that you're an expert. It's when that advice giving becomes more than one sentence and moves towards a half-hour consultation that it's not okay. Or, do you mind if I PM you? Yes, actually I do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So something I'm guilty of, I'll say something and I will tag, like Linda, I tag you, like I will tag people and stuff all the time. I'm just wondering, would it be a better thing that we say, Linda Bonney and her business does this, or is it something that we're over tagging people and creating that expectation of free?
Look, yeah. I think there could be a better way, definitely a better way to do it, rather than just a simple name, or something like, Nicole Hurd has great offers which can help you with this, or even somehow a link to a Facebook page, like your Facebook page or something like that, which could have your offers on it. But again, I think we've got very not scared, but there's certainly a bit of fear around don't promo on promo day without it being a promo day. So if you're then starting to comment and tag and direct people to somebody else's business, is that part of promo or not? Or look, I think it can get a little bit blurry, in my opinion.
So Louisa can't come back on. Her NBN has actually just died. So Linda, I've got to ask you everything we've discussed tonight, what are your most important points that you would give everyone in the Biz Bestie community out there?
Yeah. Look, definitely one would be don't overcomplicate your freebie. Don't think that you need to gain extra knowledge and templates and, all that sort of stuff to complicate a freebie when it can be something as valuable as the story you're sitting on. There's so many ways to share that really effectively by tying it back into your business as well. I did a quick live earlier tonight as far as like having a bridging and linking comment in order to do that.
And about a live in the group earlier, so please jump on and do that because it really would be a great freebie to add to the freebie days. Yeah.
And just, do sort of suck a bit of your pride as well and get some assistance from yourself for something like niching, where you can actually get some paid help for something like a freebie. And it sounds quite counterproductive, especially when you're in the early stages. However, it's probably going to accelerate a bit of your growth.
Look, I love freebies and everybody to reach out and do them. And if you need help, there's lots of mentors in our group. Be mindful, similar to me, there's business coaches. Linda's also a business coach. So be mindful that in this case that you're not stepping on their paid things. So if you ask a question and somebody in their group says, love to help you, here's my paid thing, don't take offense. Have a look at it. If you want to use the link, feel free to. If they don't want to, if they want to give their advice freely away, that's great too. But I really would like everybody to value themselves and also value the person. So if you're giving the offer, value yourself, that you're worth it and worth the next step to be paid. I'd also really like you to value the person you're asking advice from. So if you're asked and they do offer you a piece of advice, please be grateful, which I'm sure everyone is. But if they offer you the answer in a link to be paid, also be grateful. You may or may not be in the situation to invest in that, and that's fine. But I really would like to create the respect that we as people, or we as business people, have the choice to decide whether we offer or a paid or free advice. So it's really important. But the most important thing is to value yourself, because you're the only person that has your zone of genius. There may be so many other people out there who are claiming or saying they're the same thing. They're not. There can never be two of us. So please back yourself. Back yourself freebies. There's Linda's a great tool to set up freebies and share your story and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to use that as a freebie, because that really does create the know, like, trust factor. Jump on lives here. We've got so many people here that may want to buy your service or not. But thank you for joining us, Linda. Louisa, thank you and putting up with all my technology stuff. I'm so pleased that you are on my first episode ever. Next week we do have Katinka and Julie Gibbons on talking about branding, so that will be awesome. It's all about personal branding, so that is on at 8:30 next Tuesday night. If you're around, I will advertise the link, so if you've got any questions, let us know. But if you, this conversation will continue, I'm sure, on. Linda and Louisa and I will be about to answer any questions, so please feel free to keep asking them. And until next week or later in the week, I'd love you and leave you, and thank you very much. Bye.